A deputy of former FBI Director James Comey says he's very upset and disappointed by words in Comey's memos. Former Deputy Director Andrew McCabe disputes some of the comments, especially a conversation about leaks to the media over an investigation into the Clinton Foundation. McCabe was fired last month. A Justice Department report says he lied under oath to investigators. To talk about this, we're joined by Melissa Quinn, reporter with the Washington Examiner. Thanks for joining us. And so in your view, is there any big breakthroughs in the Comey, any big revelations in the Comey memos?
I don't think so. I think a lot of people were sort of crossing their fingers and hoping that we were going to have some more bombshells, but we already know what those bombshells are. They are that Trump reportedly, according to Comey's recollection, asked Comey to pledge loyalty to him, and then the second one being that Trump reportedly, again according to Comey, asked Comey to end the FBI's investigation into Michael Flynn. I think what we did learn more is that Trump actually had some reservations about Michael Flynn, his former national security advisor. He at one point apparently turned to Comey and said, "I question his judgment regarding the timing of a phone call back to a foreign leader after the inauguration."
But he left him on staff for a while until he was forced, until he fired him a little bit later. So in your view, looking at these memos, is Trump vindicated? Obviously, depending on who you talk to, Republicans were happy. They were tearing out things to praise, and Democrats were also pulling out things to praise in these memos. Who's vindicated here?
Well, President Trump certainly thinks that he is vindicated. He tweeted just last night that the Comey memos prove there was, in all caps, no collusion and no obstruction. This is a line that we've heard from the president multiple times. I think what's important to remember, though, is some of the information, these memos actually in particular, were given to Robert Mueller as part of the investigation into Russian meddling. So this isn't any new information for Mueller or his team of investigators either.
And we heard a lot of these things in the testimony he gave to Congress. Yes. My question is, will this have any impact on Mueller's investigation?
Well, the two claims, first the loyalty pledge, as well as Comey's recollection that Trump asked him to end the investigation into Flynn, those are, according to some reports, going to be part of what may be an obstruction of justice claim from Mueller, and certainly we know Democrats on Capitol Hill really have pointed to those two examples and said that they do believe that in both of those cases there was a potential that Trump obstructed justice. Now, we know what's in the memos. Obviously, Mueller's investigation and his team has been really, really tight-lipped, so I don't think in terms of whether there was anything additional that could be used as part of the Russia probe, we're not going to know that for a while.
So we'll have to wait until everything comes out at the end of this investigation, which Rudy Giuliani, who's just joined the legal team, says it's going to be very quick here. Looking at the midterm elections, another big story this year. President Trump just endorsed Marsha Blackburn to be a senator in Tennessee. Will that help her in that state of Tennessee?
Well, in Tennessee, I think it actually will help her. He won 92 of 95 counties in the whole entire state. Wow. Now, there is something that I think is of to note there, which is that Marsha Blackburn's Democratic challenger, former governor Phil Bredesen, actually won 95 of 95 counties when he won for governor. And there has been some talk that really Bredesen could be a crossover candidate that garners the support of even some Republican voters. I think when we're looking at the Tennessee Senate race, it's important to keep it into context in terms of President Trump's previous support in special elections, although this will be a general election, both in Pennsylvania and in Alabama with Roy Moore and Rick Saccone. President Trump went out and campaigned for him. He also campaigned for Luther Strange. And at the end of the day, his support really didn't make a lot of a difference. Democrats in both of those races won. So even though, of course, there is a large amount of support for President Trump in Tennessee, we'll have to see the long-term impact that makes when he does eventually go out and campaign for her.
And we'll hope you have you back on to talk more about that in the future. Thank you, Melissa Quinn from the Washington Examiner. Thank you very much.